it's Bella Networking Guru, and I'm sure you have been wondering, where have I been? Well, I'm in New York City and I'm doing a live Facebook show with my top gem, my New York networker, Ms.Robinson, and we are going to have a blast today. For those of you that have seen my posts, yes, I'm back in New York City, the Big Apple that doesn't sleep, for 5 weeks of networking and guest networking speaker gigs. And I can't wait to start this session interviewing Ms.Robinson. So without further ado, would you like to introduce yourself and your business?
Thank you so much for having me, Bella. Hi everyone, my name is Ms.Robinson. I'm a public relations professional and political strategist based here in New York City. The name of my business is called Pr2Politics. We're on all social media platforms. And Pr2Politics is a public relations firm that works to include government affairs in all of our campaigns. So we work in two capacities. We, one, work with elected officials, city council, senate, assembly members on their PR, which will include media relations, getting them in blogs, getting them on radio, managing their social media, and also their partnership development. Because those things just work 360 together. You can't have good press and no social media. You can't have social media and no partners kind of saying like, yes, you're doing great. And then the second component is we work with people looking to build themselves as public figures or even nonprofit organizations, and make sure we include a government component to it, whether it's getting you a day, whether it's including a proclamation at your event. We really just work to bridge that gap between elected officials, government, and the people.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. You can look at me now. So I'm so happy to have you on my show because you're my top gem.
Thank you.
And for those of you that don't know, I've been networking and working in New York since 2013.
Yes.
And I've known you since then.
Yes.
And actually I have to show networking works because it was through an introduction. Do you remember?
Yes,
from
yes.
the Pulse Chamber?
Yes, and that's why it's important to be a part of different networking groups
Absolutely.
and organizations, because people tend to be able to bridge the gap that way and introduce you to other people.
Absolutely, yeah. So, my gosh, I have everything listed, and part of me is like, I don't know where to start. Because first of all, letting my London viewers know, it's 12 p.m. here in New York City. I'm in a beautiful hotel, you can see the backdrop, Lower East Side. This is more of the chic side of
Very chic.
the chic side of New York. So Raven, Pr2Politics, when did it start? How did it start?
So Pr2Politics actually started my senior year in college. Before, just to kind of give you guys a little back story, in high school, my later years, I developed a love for politics, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Sure, got you.
But I just loved how politicians are paid every day to help people. I really just admire them. But I also felt like not enough people know about the work or the things that they do. So then fast forward, I get to the City College of New York, and I joined the Public Relations Club. And in the Public Relations Club, I learned about how people build campaigns around awareness, how to get people to fashion show, how to get people to download music, how to do all these different things. And at that time, Twitter had just emerged. This is about 2009 now.
Okay, at the beginning of all the social media.
Yes, so Twitter had just kind of
and nobody didn't even know what Twitter was about.
To be honest with you, no one was really on Twitter.
Yes.
But us being in the PR club, we were abreast on that.
Sure.
And so we all made an account.
Okay.
And my account was Pr2Politics.
Wow.
So, okay, whatever.
So it emerged way back, deep in college or university for my London.
Yes, just because, and like I said, even whether you're in college or later, it's good to join groups and organizations. That's the #1 investment.
Yeah, and network as well, being a community.
Yes,
definitely.
And the thing about the clubs and organizations, you're around people who have the same professional interests as you.
Like-minded.
So if I would have joined the fashion club or the music club, it would have been great people, but they wouldn't have been able to empower me in the PR world.
Good.
Being a part of the Public Relations Club specifically, I met people who were in that specific industry, knowing those specific trends. Whatever they didn't know, I knew. Whatever I knew,
so you were able to keep up to date with everything that was going on.
It was basically 10 aspiring, hungry PR people, each of us knowing something together.
Yeah,
we were just
you didn't know what your destination or your vision was, but you all had the common vision that you loved PR.
And we all wanted to know what's the next big blog?
Okay.
What's the next big social media?
Before the
so being a part of a group like that really helped me professionally because we were able to empower each other.
And remind me, what year was that?
So I joined the Public Relations Club in 2009 as a member.
Right.
But by the time I graduated in 2012, I actually was the president. And it was interesting because I was actually the only political science major in the club at the time. Most people were in communications majors or public relations or advertising majors a part of the club. So that was also pretty interesting. But how I knew that it was for me, I would say 2010. In 2010, for those of you who are familiar with the Public Relations Student Society of America, they do big conferences throughout the year. The year before, I want to say 2008 or 2009, it was in San Francisco. They had it on digital marketing or digital media. The next year, it was in DC, and it was connecting the gap between politics and PR.
Wow. And you saw a gap in the market.
At that moment, I just knew, and they had a lot of great speakers. Al Gore's speechwriter, the guy who did Barack Obama's social media campaigns, like so many great people who just worked in this field of politics and applied those skill sets. And that's kind of when I knew. So during that time, I would take various internships. At this time, I already had 3 internships under my belt.
Wow. While you in like your final lab,
as early as my junior year in high school, each summer I would intern like a state senator.
So you're really that serious about it.
I was very passionate and very serious during that time. So then fast forward to 2012, that was actually a really depressing year for me because I thought I did the right things. I joined the club, I grew in the club, I had all these internships, and I couldn't get a job, and I actually didn't even have any job offers, and I just felt so disappointed because I'm like, what didn't I do?
Because you've got the industry, you know that market so well.
Yeah, in my opinion, I was like, why am I not like getting something? Why are people not at my door? And I know every college student feels that way.
But a negative brings a positive because that was probably the light bulb moment to say, you know what, let me start my own business.
It was, and that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
I reached out to, old mentors, old peers, people that I interned with, and said, hey guys, I got the paper, what's next? And they were like, oh, okay, you need to run a recommendation. So I'm like, no, I need a job.
Wow. So how did you get that first client, and who was your first client? So I got the first client,
so great about networking. When I was younger, I was part of a group called Girls in Government, and the founder, she would take me to different networking events with her. So one of the networking events we went to was like a political forum, and the young lady who was the director of the Rutgers University Women in Politics at Rutgers University, the Center for Women in Politics at Rutgers University, she was there. I joined her email list from there and would always get emails about events. What's so great about them is they're really a network for women in politics. They not only let you know about events, but when other women run, they add your name to their email so this way you can be aware, even if they don't specifically live in your district. So this way you can, if you want to donate, if you want to be a part of the cause. So I started receiving emails from a young lady named Monica Miranda who's running for Senate in Albany. And I thought to myself, first time I'm like, oh, she doesn't live in my district. I live in New York. I didn't pay any mind. The second email, I started looking at the things she stood for, just like human rights, everything, and I was really impressed. And then the third time, I started paying attention, and I noticed that she signed her own emails. And I said to myself, oh, she must not have like a PR director or something because most politicians, sometimes it is from them, but sometimes you'll get like the campaign manager saying,
it wasn't personal.
So I sent her an email and I said, hey, how are you? I have a degree in political science, but I have an extensive background in the public relations field. I would love to know if you have a communications person because I think that's what you're missing. And she said to me, well, currently I'm doing everything myself. She said, I'm actually
snowed under.
She was like, honestly, I'm not even sure what a communications director would do for a campaign. And I said, that's no problem. Whether you hire me or not, I would love to build a job description for you of what I think
and you can kind of work together as well.
And I told her, I'll send it to you. And if you want to hire me, then that's fine, but at least you know what you should be looking for. So basically just kind of being assertive, speaking up, and being able to be a resource whether she hired me or not. I didn't say, well,
you went for it.
I kind of went for it because when I wrote the job description for her, it really had nothing to do with me personally. I was just saying what I thought anybody should be doing for a campaign.
Absolutely. Do
so
it
honestly,
and then targeted to what she wanted.
Right. So just to kind of educate her also on what I thought the role should be about. Then after that, she said, you know what, I want to hire you just because you did this. She said, because for me, I need people that are assertive, that are fast thinkers, ambitious, and people that can kind of think on their own, and you showed me that you can do that. So you're the person that I want to hire. And we quickly had a successful campaign. She didn't necessarily win the seat, but we got a lot of blogs, we got a lot of media features, which really helped to elevate her, not just herself as a candidate, but just herself as a public figure.
That's really great. I think what you demonstrated there was that how hungry you were to just pursue and to help, and actually seeing what her needs were when you package that together. So that's really great. So guys, if you're watching, I'm live in New York City, and yes, you can hear two accents, a Londoner and a New Yorker. I have my fantastic guest with me, Raven Robinson, and we've just talked about how she literally started her business out of college, no employer at all, and went straight jumping into her first client, which has been amazing. So when you work with clients at the moment, what's your best marketing? How do the clients find you, or do you do pitching? How do you usually find the clients?
So I find my clients through networking, and not formal networking events, but just kind of putting myself out there. The number one thing that I say to do with any service is, when you, like how I did with the young lady, my first client, see what people are missing and say how you can be an asset to them.
And be of value.
And be of value. So that's those are the best pitches. Not a general pitch saying, hey, hire me, or like a post on Instagram saying,
sales,
I do this, that. It's complimenting someone, and it's saying, hey, you are great. I see that you're doing this, but my services, and I feel like I could be a benefit. You know, would you be open to try? And that's one way that I get clients, just kind of praising them for the work that they are doing, but seeing how together I feel like their mission can be improved.
And also, I'm on your mailing list, and you're a regular guest speaker. And is that a good way for you to attract clients?
That's a great way to attract clients. More so for me personally, I get more lower end clients that way. So people, because I have other things for sale besides just doing PR, I also have a workbook that's available. In addition, I also do private consultations. So speaking engagements are really good for that, because most, high level CEOs, they send their staff to those things. They don't necessarily attend. So it's just basically entrepreneurs or people coming up in the workforce looking for those type of resources, not necessarily looking for like a month-to-month PR. So
maybe just one session or just a consultancy session. Okay.
So it's all about knowing the demographic that you're speaking to. So when I'm looking to get a retained client, I go directly to the CEO. I'm not expecting them to come to me. Going to them saying, hey, I love your mission, love what your organization is doing. This is what I offer, and that's how I get my higher end clients. And then for just my day-to-day stuff like consultations or workbooks and other speaking engagements, I do speaking engagements. It allows me to build myself as an expert, and it also allows me to be in front of a lot of people at one time.
And build your own personal brand. So I know we've got some New York businesses, entrepreneurs, London entrepreneurs watching. I also know you do help businesses and startups. What would you say is the number one mistake most businesses or young businesses make in PR?
The number one mistake that I would say is that they reach out to media outlets and don't have a target person. So what I would say is, if you had my email and I was the food blogger for the Huffington Post, but your business was a tech company and you sent me something about your app, I would probably delete your email. Like, you don't know who I am, and you're not going to get a response.
And you're not even going to take the time to direct them to the right person.
Especially if, and if you said it in an email, like, hey, how are you? I see that you write for the Huffington Post. I'm not sure if this is, that's more something I can respect. But when you're blatantly out sending me your press release saying, hey, check out my app, and it's like, did you not read my byline?
Because it looks like it's just general. You're sending that one email to everybody.
You didn't even take the time to do the research. Take a step back and just do the research.
To know you a bit more personable.
And know me a bit more personal. And in this day and age, back in the day it was a little harder because people wrote for newspapers. You didn't really know who they were. You just see the first and last name. Nowadays it's much easier. You can click on a person's name and see their byline.
Use LinkedIn
and see who's at what. And hey, if you're, I've always tried to be savvy. I try to guess emails. If I know that the company is first name, period, last name at HuffingtonPost.com, and I know your first and last name, go figure, or if it's first letter and last name at, I'm gonna, send you an email and say, hey, how are you? I see that you write on this, or I see that this is your interest, and I think that's what young people should be doing. We shouldn't get hung up on, oh, this person writes for this outlet, I don't know them, I don't know what they write about, I'm going to email them. Because just keep in mind, just because I write for a specific publication doesn't mean that I write on your specific topic.
Absolutely.
So that's the number one PR fail.
Sure. And one of the reasons I wanted you to be on my show, especially for my London viewers, that the world of PR in New York is huge.
Very huge.
And very rarely do we have very established PR firm that might just do politics. So it's really been empowering for me to see the different ways that I know you help startups, but particularly your big background in politics. What would you say is just the one difference that you would do for PR for the politics that you wouldn't do for startups? What is that difference in the politics?
So the main difference, sometimes with startups, depending on what it is, I'm focusing on the actual product and what the actual item is. But with politics, it's all about a public figure. We're not selling a book. We're selling them as a person. Right. So that's the difference. So now, if I'm pitching, if I'm doing PR for Victoria's Secret, I'm not pitching the owner. I'm pitching, what we have, why we're better, our different sales. We might have a Christmas sale. If I'm doing PR for Senator, we're not gonna have a Christmas sale. So he's not for sale. So
he's a public figure.
So the narrative maybe is going to be different. The narrative is going to now be, oh, okay, well maybe we're giving away toys. But the narrative for Victoria's Secret, just use that example, is we're having a Christmas sale, come in and buy, come in this. So with elected official, it's just more about building them as a public figure and whatever their expertise are and whatever they are on the issues, and engaging people around that issue, and kind of getting people to vote, and being persuasive in that sense. Versus with a service or product or startup or brand, it's more about persuading people to buy from you. We're not persuading people to buy from you. At some point, we are persuading people to vote for you, but that's like a whole different narrative outside of election day. It's about building that expertise.
Sure, got you. So guys, if you just tuned in, welcome. As I said, I'm here in New York with my lovely guest, my top gem actually, Raven Robinson, who's the founder of Pr2Politics, and you can find her across all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So Raven, I'd just love to ask you this question because you've been in this industry now almost coming up to 10 years, and I know you're so well respected. If there was anything you could whisper in your ear to that first year or second year when you were fresh out of college, trying to make the amends to your business, what do you think you would change or that you could share with the audience?
One thing that I would say, even at your early stages, less is more. I feel like during that time, I
less is more.
Jumping on everything, jumping on every project, jumping on projects that didn't even have anything to do with my industry.
Yeah, because they're so desperate for sales, isn't it, and clients.
So, but to be honest, in the end, you notice that it's not worth it because instead of you spread yourself thin, and what I always say is it's about the upsell, right? So if you have one client at one mark because they're just testing the waters, if you continue to put hours and bring results, you'll have no problem not only retaining that client and renewing it, but upselling them. So you can say, listen, we've been working together for a year. I've only been doing social media. I would love the opportunity to also do your partnership development or support on that. That's actually $1,000. They've already built a relationship with you. Versus you trying to get 10 clients at 500, you could just get 2, 3 clients at the $5,000 mark by doing more work and putting more hours in it. So
retaining them. And
I feel like I was just so focused on having a bunch of different clients that I didn't see it at that time. That instead of using my time to do 10 different things, I should be using, instead of spending 2 hours on 20 things, I should be using 10 hours on 2 things. So that I can better build a relationship. And at that point, it may not even be 10 hours, maybe 8 hours because it was so much and I was able to get so much done. So less is always more because for any business, then you can always upsell. So it's kind of like, and like for me, I like to have one niche so people know exactly what I'm known for and what to come into.
Not jack of all trades.
I personally don't believe in a jack of all trades because I feel like you have to really know your industry and be grounded in it, and that's how you get more referrals and be the best, and people are not confused. So for instance, even with people who are selling things or selling an item, maybe sell 2 or 3 things at a time. You don't need to sell 10 things so you can keep making it better. And then at that point, your clients, even if you charge more or if you add more to it, your clients are willing to, versus trying to sell them 10 different things. You can just sell them one higher price item.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love that style, or it might be that New York lingo where you said, you know, when you know the contract might be coming up to an end, do your research. And I love what you said, you know, I'd like the opportunity to do this review or a bit more. And I love the way you add value. So another question I would just love to ask is, if you were not in public relations or politics, what job role would you be doing? I know that's a hard
That is such a hard question for me, only because literally this is the only thing I've done so far. 26 years old, so I'm definitely open and know that I might not retire doing this. But it's hard. I know one thing, people that know me, for the viewers out there, I really love rap music. I love, and I'm just
I've seen on your Instagram
yeah, I'm
pages.
just I just love rap music. So I think that it will probably be maybe something in entertainment, but maybe as a manager, maybe as an assistant, or maybe as a road manager.
What about a dance in a video?
No. Never, not a dancer, but definitely something behind the scenes. Yes, a bit more creative, a bit more professional in the background, because I'm just so passionate about it.
Good.
And so it would probably be that. It would be something entertainment.
Yeah.
I just love organizing things. I love being a part of a team. That's just me. So if I wasn't doing PR or I wasn't in politics, I would be in entertainment as an organizer or some sort of event planner.
Yeah, that sounds good. So before we wrap up the show, I always ask my guests, do you have a networking question to ask me or something about myself that you may have? So I know you haven't told me yet, so what's your networking question?
I guess my networking question would be, what's the best way to retain relationships if you're constantly networking?
That's a really good question, because sometimes we have in our mind, we've got a network. And every time you network, you're meeting a bunch of new people, new relationships. And we often don't think about, well, how do we manage this and retain? I think one of the ways to keep relationships is a little bit where you said, know a little bit more about those people in your network. And when you're building those relationships, think of them as your outer and inner circle. Because it's almost like the saying, you know, how many good friends do you have? You can count them on a finger, isn't it? How many people do you know? It's like 10, 20. So kind of divide them by inner and outer. So the ones that you're in your circle that you know you may speak to them more frequently, and the ones at the outer circle, if you speak to them like once a month or once every 2 months, it's still good. So you're maintaining that relationship. So it's that inner and outer circle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, great, yeah. So thank you so much for being on my show.
Of course.
And guys, I will be back in London in November, and I myself I'm booked as a guest speaker for NatWest Bank on the 8th of November. If you would like to attend, I'll be talking about relationships as well, actually, but also a big struggle that networkers are having at the moment, all about how do you enter a group when they're already talking, and how do you turn business cards into clients. So have a look at my link below. And next week I will be here again Monday on the BellaNetworking show with another New Yorker, and I'll be interviewing them. So guys, if you've also liked the show, please hit those blue links, and Raven's details will be in the bio below.